probably.
Because it was mentioned for the first time.
That was a spicy old planning meeting, that one, wasn't it?
That was a good one, wasn't it?
Yes.
I think what was really interesting was, whilst there were, people who were against it, and really didn't want to see it happen.
And you understand why as well.
Absolutely, yeah. I completely understand a lot of the concerns people had. But what also came out was the amount of people who were really positive about it and see it as a huge opportunity for the city. And I still get, so what and I don't want to invite this too much. I get a lot of people emailing me and getting in touch and speak to me about it, saying, when's it going to happen? I'm ready for it. Please get on with it.
This is an Olympic level climbing frame. So the plans are all in place, the space is in place, funding hopefully not too far away.
Well, we've done phase one, which was getting the new car park and freeing up the space. So actually part of the Winter Festival is happening on an element of the space where the activity centre will be in the future. We're pretty well lined up. We've recently done quite a bit of work reviewing the cost of the building and the business plan for the building and all that sort of stuff. So we're really spades could be in the ground in the spring. We just need to get over the line with a couple of our funders, and then we'll be there. So it's quite an intense period over the next few months as we move towards that.
Yeah, it's an exciting time.
It's a big deal,
isn't it? Yeah, great.
I've got a bit of a random question.
Go on.
As the ace, the dog, whatever job title you have,
acronym.
I wish we hadn't even
Nene Park Trust.
About that.
It must. What I'm trying to ask here, when you look around, you're immersed, aren't you, in all of the different activities within the whole space that Nene Park Trust is. Yeah. Do you ever have to sort of stop and pinch yourself at what your job is? Because I can't think of a better job. I love going to Ferry Meadows. Your spirits are lifted, and there's you immersed in every little element of it.
Yeah.
Do you ever go there not working, or do you?
I take my kids there. It's difficult because you obviously see it through your work's eye, so to speak.
If you take your kids there, you must be looking around. Oh, how about the new reed bed project? How's that going? What's this welcoming area going to be like?
Play areas,
new exactly.
ones.
Yeah. Why is that like that? What's going on there? Absolutely. And I guess partly one of the reasons I go there with my kids is to go there and make sure I am a visitor and I use it from that perspective. Yeah. I'm like, children tell you how it is, don't they? Like if they think, this is rubbish, they'll tell me it's rubbish. If they don't think that's very good, they don't think it's good, very good. The converse is that they want to go there all the time, and I always feel mean for not taking them there as much as I should. It's an amazing place. I suppose, like anywhere, it becomes work. And I think one of the challenges for all of us who work there is to see it with fresh eyes every day, because you can go in and you can just go past stuff and you don't see it in the same way our visitors do sometimes. And that's, that's why I enjoy speaking to visitors as well. I suppose when I'm out in the park and like being in the cafe this morning and just chat, because people, it's really interesting if you just ask someone like, oh, what, why have you come here today? Or, what are you doing? And obviously, you might think, as you say earlier, that 100% of people know about Nene Park. It's interesting when you speak to someone and say, oh, it's the first time I'm here. And so this morning I noticed there was from a well-known mobile application from which you can get food delivered. There seemed to be a big meeting of some managers to do with this food delivery service at the park. There was a load of branded cars there, and I just thought how interesting they've picked Ferry Meadows as the place to come and have their breakfast meeting and all sit around. And I thought, like, how sort of cool is that? But it's a completely new audience as well, and just these different people using it for different purposes, sliding doors sort of thing. Everyone using it for different ways, and I think it's great. It's lovely to work in a space that people feel so passionate about. You can never please anybody, so I suppose that's one of the challenges.
You can never please everybody.
Yeah, well, you can't please anybody.
I
think everybody. You're probably right, Kev. Some people would argue that I can't please anybody. You can't please everybody. There's certainly, and that's the balance always, is trying to deliver stuff that's special. Like the Christmas event, like mixology, push the boundaries of what we're here for. And I guess people's perceptions as well. And deliver something that's really good, and fundamentally go home every day and feel that you've done the best you can.
I think that one of the most interesting things you've said today is that very comment just now. Push the boundaries of what we're here for. I think it's brilliant, because you're not standing still. No. If anyone who stands still in any kind of role, job, situation, then if you stand still, you don't move forward. That's an obvious thing to say.
So good.
But yeah, it's brilliant. It's lovely to get your insight, Andrew. Any final observations or comments?
Well, so good for physical and mental well-being going to Ferry Meadows, isn't it? And I was there when the park runs returned a couple of years ago after COVID, and it's one of my favourite memories of the place, just seeing everybody bursting out again and going for it. And it's another one of Peterborough's gems, isn't it? I'm amazed, like you say, that not everyone knows of it, and maybe that's our mission, all of us, to try and get people to realise it a bit more.
What's more important? Ferry Meadows, Nene Park Trust, or Peterborough Cathedral?
Oh, for goodness sake! Do you know what? When you mentioned
I'm
them,
good friends with the
Yeah,
Dean and
me
things in the
too.
cathedral. I mean, all
Oh,
sorts of
no,
trouble.
it's an impossible. You know,
I'm not
it's
asking that.
Ronaldo versus
John,
Messi, isn't
John,
it? You
I'm
know,
not asking that question as a serious question. I suppose when you think of Peterborough and the jewel in the crown,
it's one of them.
the
maybe
jewel
one
in
of
the
those.
crown, the
Yeah.
crown jewels of Peterborough, Nene Park Trust and Peterborough Cathedral are the two things
And-
that most importantly, I think, are appreciated by our city, but not just our city, but visitors to our city. They're the top two, aren't they?
Yeah,
Am I wrong?
surely. And then when you speak to, I've spoken to the very Reverend Chris Dallaston about this before, and what you said earlier on about sort of going in with fresh eyes. I mean, that must be amazing. Walking into the cathedral every day and working in that
But
environment.
the point, I agree with you, and the point that Andrew's made regarding not standing still, I
Yeah.
think the cathedral are doing a really good job
Definitely.
too.
Yeah, big time.
All of the events.
Lux
they're putting
Morales
on,
back again.
Lux Morales
Ongoing.
was brilliant, and everyone who went to watch The Manger by Lux
Yeah.
Morales enjoyed it. But the craft markets they have, the different concerts they have,
Dinosaurs,
the dinosaur
Star
exhibition,
Wars,
so good on
those
them.
sort of things.
Good on them for making that space
Tim Peake.
much more than just being a cathedral, and clearly, like I think Nene Park Trust have to fundraise, the cathedral very much
Definitely.
have to fundraise. So good on them. So why can't Flag Fen up their game, and
You're angry.
start shouting about how brilliant
Flag
they
Fen.
Well,
are?
we need to all support each other as well, I suppose, don't we?
True,
And,
true,
you know,
true.
I think there's that thing about critical mass of Peterborough. You know, it's wonderful to create a space and a special place for all the people that live here. But what an amazing place to visit as well. And I don't think a lot of people would consider that about Peterborough.
Especially
but
when you
actually
bear in
it is
mind
that great
the
venue.
people who go on social media moaning about stuff all the time. And let's face it, let's be honest about it, there's lots of those people that have got nothing better to do than moan and whinge.
Don't go anywhere.
And they seem to slag things off. I
Evil
was reading
warriors.
comments about, the Christmas lights in the city centre are rubbish. Someone commented, did you go? No. Don't bother going to that, it's rubbish. The people who live their lives negatively, I hope I'm not going to get in trouble for being like this.
Hey, you're on a soapbox this
Go
week,
for it,
Kev.
Kev.
I like
Yeah,
it.
soapbox.
Angry Kev.
All right, let's celebrate what we
Yeah.
are great at.
Yeah.
The things we're not quite so great at, let's work on them. I've got no time for negativity.
No.
None at all. Sorry. Zero.
Especially when it's like you've said, it's people who are, I don't know, hypocritical about it. They don't go out themselves. They don't contribute themselves, other than behind a Facebook, Instagram,
And
Twitter.
there's so much going on in the city as well. I think it's almost hard to keep up with the amount going on. I don't know how you guys do it in terms of trying to cover it all. You know, I'm amazed by how much is going on, even just throughout sort of Nene Park Trust as an organisation with Peterborough Presents, the Cultural Alliance that we're involved in, stuff happening all over the city. And then you hear about what other organisations are doing as well. We met the other day at the Peterborough Citizens
Yes.
Action event at the museum,
homelessness, yeah.
where we had an amazing collection of organisations in there trying to improve the city, holding our leaders and those with power to
Yeah.
account, which is amazing. But it just shows how much passion there is and how many people there are who want to make the city better and
Yeah.
are proud to be part of it. I think it's easy to forget that.
We've got to mention the ice rink before we wrap up the pod for this week. Do you like ice skating, Andrew?
I've been known to partake in a little
jump
bit
on
of
the
ice
ice?
skating, you know. Maybe not dancing on
Never-
ice quite
never
yet,
done it.
but
Are you and your wife not taller than Dean?
no, I think that's probably not been said before.
Bit of a stretch. So, John, if you've never been skating before, you must try it.
Oh, okay.
So the ice rink is open from December the 2nd until I think about the first week in January.
Yeah.
The website for it is peterborough-ice.com. There's a lady called Shirley Ann who's like so passionate about her ice rinks. So she's from Dash Events that they'll bring the ice rink in.
Open air
So
this
they've
year,
learnt
of
this
course.
year from
Yeah.
last year. It needed to have been open air. So your one was open air last year, and even if it's a bit chilly, you wrap up warm. You're out in the elements. It's a fairly decent sized ice rink. I've seen the plans for it. It's going up in Cathedral Square. There's the food places nearby, the cabins, so you can get the whiff of gingerbread lattes or whatever, and go skating. They've got different deals on, different times when you can go a bit cheaper. It's a good shout, isn't it, to talk about price of these things, because with the cost of living crisis on, we want to make sure that any events that get put on are affordable and good value. And I think £9.50 per ticket is good value for
That
you.
was absolutely our aim, was having that in mind where we started, to make
Yeah,
sure it
I
was
think-
something that people could afford to come to.
Sometimes when people put events on and they try and price it a bit too much, they perhaps miss a trick a little bit. But you must come ice skating when it's on.
Come
skating on-
I'll take your word for it.
On December the 24th, you can actually skate with Santa.
December the 24th. I'm
Christmas
going to be
Eve.
probably
You'll be doing your shopping.
I've been drinking, won't I?
What?
Christmas Eve. I'm going to be
No,
done.
he won't, Andrew. He's going to be Christmas present buying.
Ice skating. Oh yeah, that's
It'll be
probably.
typical last minute, Larry.
Can I bring up one other event as well? One small thing
Well,
as well. Very
we're
small.
running very late.
Well, people can enjoy it, can't they? They can listen to it in various chunks. I'm just going to bring up the accessible exhibition that is going on called Reasonable Adjustment from Peterborough Presents. They are going to be hosting this accessible exhibition in Queensgate Shopping Centre, displaying a range of fantastic and inspiring work, celebrating the lives of disabled people with hearing issues, and neurodivergent people in Peterborough. That is from December the 3rd to the 17th on Long Causeway between Costa and Boots, just outside that entrance to Queensgate. That's been put together by artist Faye Kilburn, something different for Peterborough, and I hope that it does really well.
I love the fact you've mentioned that. I'm going to be speaking to Faye on the PCRFM Breakfast Show. She's partially sighted, but she's a brilliant artist. And I think the fact that this is on in the Queensgate space is good, so hopefully good footfall, lots of different people will see it. And should we just all pay homage to Sarah? Do you want me to do it? Are you going to do it? Do you know who I'm talking about?
From Peterborough Presents?
Yeah.
Sarah Haythornthwaite?
Yeah.
she's
Oh
brilliant.
my word.
Energy,
all of
passion.
Faye Kilburn, amazing.
Friendly,
Reasonable
approachable.
Adjustments thing, amazing. But Peterborough Presents as something for the city, talking about, what to be proud of. Sarah, Keely, Charlie, Kim, the Peterborough Presents
All of
team
them, yeah.
are amazing.
They really
have
are.
such energy. They do amazing things for the city. Light Up High last year, all the work, across the city, the various murals. Man, amazing. I love being able to work with Sarah. I love the work the Peterborough Presents team do. They're a huge inspiration to the whole of the organisation.
There's strong links between Peterborough Presents and you.
Absolutely.
Isn't
So Peterborough Presents used to be hosted by Vivacity. When Vivacity unfortunately folded during the pandemic, we took on a few things from Vivacity as Nene Park Trust, and one of which was Peterborough Presents, and we host them as an organisation. And during that period, we recruited Sarah, and I remember interviewing Sarah on Zoom online.
Oh, you did, right?
She used to work for Metal in the City, another amazing arts charity. And just since that moment, they've been an inspiration. We've got really strong links. They're a great inspiration to the rest of our organisation, and they do some amazing stuff across the city. So yeah, homage.
I was going to say
Good
some
way to
nice
time.
things about Sarah, but they've all been said
Yeah.
by you, Andrew, which is
Yeah,
great.
no,
Thanks for
great.
bringing that up.
No,
It's
no
a
problem.
Good shout, and that's going to be in Queensgate, isn't it, for a couple of weeks,
Yeah.
kicking off from December the
I'll be there.
3rd. Thank you, Andrew, for joining us. John, nice one. Let's click end. The 20th episode of the Peterborough podcast done. We will see you next time.